How many of us would love to be at one of the resorts in the White Lotus TV show? Oh my goodness, there is such a joy. I mean, firstly, it's obviously an exceptionally good program. I'm just really enjoying the third season, and I felt like this was going to be a really fun video to make because it was really making me think about extremely exclusive and beautiful resort hotels. So, incredibly expensive holidays, none of which I'm going to be on, um, not being a rich person, but I do still love a beautiful holiday, and there's no reason why I can't smell beautiful and as if I'm on a bougie holiday, even if I'm just in Kent. So I am going to give you guys a little overview of some perfumes that I think I would take away with me, and I'm going to do the different seasons of the White Lotus. So we're going to start with the first White Lotus Maui from season one, and that is, so the thing Hawaii makes me think of. It's kind of got a slight tropical feel, but it's like, I know it's really mountainous. It's a really interesting terrain, and they've got obviously a lot of ocean. They've got beautiful beaches, but they've got beautiful flowers. It kind of makes me think of flowers quite a lot. So there's a couple of houses here that I think I have. There's two houses which I have represented in every season because I just think they're really good vacation perfumes. They're a little bit lighter a lot of the time. They're often easy to wear. There's a couple here that are quite interesting, but yeah, I'm going to start with this guy. So this is from the House of Toka. This is Stella, and this is a beautiful fruity floral perfume. I mean, firstly, obviously the bottles from Toka are just so beautiful. I have this little Stella. This is a 15 ml bottle, but the thing that I particularly love of this scent is actually the Toka Oleo body oil. So this is if you can see, it's got a sprayer in it. So it's a very kind of thin, beautiful oil that you rub in, and it smells sweet and flowery. And it's got this amazing kind of bitter orange. I would say really this turns into more of a floral once it dries down. And the scent, it really does to me smell like tropical flowers. I think that this has a mixture of all kind of flowers in, and I'm not entirely sure I would pick out any of them as being like, that's freesia or that's orchid, that kind of thing. But it kind of reminds me more of like water lilies and lotuses and that kind of thing a little bit more, while also having some classic white florals in it. There's just something about it that makes me think of tropical flowers. And then you have that fruitiness on top, and I think it's very feminine, it's very pretty, and it always makes me think of summer. So that's Toka, Stella, and this is the Oleo body oil. So the other house that gives me real holiday feels is the House of Diptyque. This is O'Mahely, or O'Mahely maybe is a better way to say it. This is a very interesting, fresh, and slightly kind of warm, spicy ylang ylang perfume. But this is not like a super buttery, thick, creamy ylang ylang. This is a fresh and juicy ylang ylang with tons of ginger. So it has other floral notes. It has incense, patchouli. It's got some pink pepper, but essentially what you're getting is a watery, tropical floral here. It really smells like holidays, but it doesn't smell like a creamy body lotion, and I do not like suntan lotion perfumes myself, so I think that this is a perfect thing to take on a really bougie holiday. I think it's beautiful, and the House of Diptyque you'll see again because I just think they do excellent perfumes for kind of bougie holidays. So I feel like you always have to have some kind of delicious spa-like scent that kind of goes with the sort of places that you're going to be staying. And for me, I think a really good, reliable spa type scent is this guy here, although this is actually a dupe for what I'm talking about. So this is La Rive Wave of Love. And Wave of Love is a dupe of Lanvin's Eclat d'Arpège. So Eclat d'Arpège is a beautiful kind of slightly woody, slightly aquatic tea perfume. And it's in that realm of Dolce and Gabbana light blue, but I find this one is much, well, it's much nicer, and it's more feminine to me because it has a beautiful purple floral note, and therefore it's kind of less woody, it's less bitter, it's less masculine. So this is lilac, wisteria. It's got Chinese osmanthus and wisteria. It's just such It's such a fresh, clean, beautiful perfume. It's exactly the kind of thing you would want to wear if you were just lounging around in some kind of spa-like environment. And I just think that, I mean, La Rive Wave of Love is amazing, actually. So if you want to save some dollar, then this is the one to go for because you get much more for your money. It's kind of quite a fleeting perfume, as is the original Cat d'Arpège, but I just think this is such a beautiful one. And it has this amazing kind of purple juice, which is so pretty. So that's La Rive Wave of Love. I really do always want to have some kind of floral on vacation because I just love flowery perfumes in warm weather, and I don't tend to wear them the rest of the year round, particularly flowery things, but this is just something a little bit special to me because I'm very fussy about rose, but this particular rose is very, very beautiful, and it's probably the favourite rose that I have. This is Jean-Charles Brousseau Fleur d'Ombre Rose. This is a perfume that used to be a signature scent of mine briefly, and this is a very, very fruity floral, but it doesn't have heavy woods, it doesn't have patchouli, it's not fruit chewy, it's very light, airy, feminine, pretty, and it's rose, it's got mango in it, and it's got rhubarb in it, and blackcurrant and peach and melon, so there's a whole fruit bowl going on here. But it also has a delightful rose watery rose, which is so fresh and beautiful, and there is just something slightly tropical about this, even though it is quite a beautiful kind of European rose smell. It's so glorious and beautiful, and I absolutely adore this. This is Jean-Charles Brousseau Fleur d'Ombre Rose. I also always want something that I consider to be kind of juicy when I go on holiday. I like something fruity, juicy, a little bit delicious. This one, I think, is a particularly fun one. It's super affordable, actually. Hopefully, I think you can still get this. I think it's part of the main collection. This guy is from 4711. This is Aqua Colonia, Goji and Cactus Extract. So it's an eau de cologne, but this one actually, you can probably tell from the colour, this is very sweet and a little bit syrupy, and it lasts longer than most of my other Aqua Colonia perfumes. So this one, there is something sexy about this. It's juicy, it's fruity, it's got this kind of unusual edge to it, but it's got a very syrupy goji berry note. This is my kind of, if I want to smell sexy in the summer, if I want to smell sweet and syrupy, but in a kind of manageable way in the heat, then I do like to reach for this one. My husband really likes this as well. I think it's a beautiful, lovely, affordable, but sexy, sweet perfume. Really, really tasty. And then I'm always going to want something for the evening. And for this one, I was thinking, you know, we're in Hawaii, we want something that's maybe got a little bit of a tropical edge to it, but I want something grown up, I want something that lasts, I want something that's a bit stronger for the evening. And so I have gone for Mambo by Liz Claiborne. Such a big bottle, I'm going to have to hold it in this strange angle. So this is a really tropical smelling floral. You get a lot of your ylang ylang, you get orange blossom, there's mango, there's ginger, hibiscus, orange. It's like, it's so yummy, but it's also got a really kind of slightly soapy, musky, creamy base. It doesn't move all the way into lotion territory. But what I will say about this one, to give you an idea, if you can imagine a very fruity and slightly summery take on something like Libre, then you're you're getting close to the kind of feel that Mambo is going to give you. Mambo is a perfume that is just absolutely scrumptious. You definitely recognise the ylang and the orange blossom here. You recognise the ginger, you recognise the orange, but that mango and hibiscus takes this in an interesting direction. And then you've got a far less screechy version of that kind of soapiness that you get in something like Libre. So this is a perfect evening hot weather perfume. My husband really loves this one as well, so it is pretty sexy. So there we have it. That's the Maui White Lotus. That's what I would be wearing, and that's what I'd be taking with me. Although realistically, I'd be taking a bunch of decants because, you know, I'm not taking those massive bottles with me really far away. But maybe if I was a really rich person, I'd be going on a private jet and I'd just take exactly whatever I wanted. But yeah, so that is season 1. And now let's get going with season 2. So we're going to Italy this time. The White Lotus Sicily, obviously we've moved away from the more tropical vibe and we've got more of a Mediterranean feel here. Different kind of weather, different kind of feel, different kind of terrain. Absolutely beautiful. I do love Italy very much, so super excited to have a think about what I would wear, and it has given me a kind of different feel to the more tropical things that I was thinking about before. So let's start. As I said, I was always going to have like one for each series from Tocca. So this hefty bottle is Tocca Lucia or Lucia. So this particular perfume I think is basically a perfect fig perfume, but it's a juicy fig perfume with a bit of a sea note in it. Woof, it's hard to hold up such a heavy bottle. I would definitely advise getting the travel spray if you actually did take this away with you. So this has, like I said, notes of sea. It has sea notes, it has fig, it has rose water, lemon, mandarin, grapefruit. The other interesting thing about this, it has a lot of green notes. It has a beautiful green feel to it, but it's also got a very warming tobacco in it. It doesn't smell smoky, it just smells a bit sweet. And oddly enough, if you know the profile of Killian's Moonlight in Heaven, then you'll have a little bit of an idea of the kind of scent that you're getting from Tocca Lucia. It's less tropical smelling than that perfume, but it definitely has a little bit of that kind of profile, and I think it's beautiful. So that's Tocca Lucia. So Diptyque are the other brand that I think are just absolutely perfect for holidays, especially bougie holiday perfumes. So this is, I think, a really beautiful take on Freesia. It's a very unusual take on Freesia. This smells extremely like a springtime beautiful floral, but there's a lot of pepper in this one, black pepper specifically. So it has woody notes, it has freesia and black pepper. I'm sure there's other things in here, but it's very floral, but then with that real deep spice. It's a very interesting perfume, although it's light and quite easy to wear. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I really have never really smelt anything that smells like Freesia. I think it's really interesting while also being quite light and sheer and simple smelling to actually wear. But yeah, in terms of the composition, it's really quite impressive. So that's Freesia from Diptyque. So I would always want something that made me feel like I was in like a really relaxing, maybe spa-like environment, especially if I was in like a bougie hotel. Obviously, in the Mediterranean, it's got a slightly different feel to a lot of the kind of spa-y places in more tropical locations. But for me, I can't get enough of this perfume. I think even though it's extremely affordable, it's one of the most beautiful, classy smelling kind of fruity florals that I have. I am obsessed with it. This is Elizabeth Arden Mediterranean. This is a perfect holiday perfume for me. It is plum. I think it's like a peach sorbet. It's a special type of plum. There's wisteria in this, and it has a powdery light purple floral feel. It also to me smells like there is some kind of sea breeze note in here. It's so feminine and ladylike. I find it very soothing, very calming. It really is beautiful. I feel so ladylike wearing this, and I really feel like I am in the Mediterranean on the coast, you know. It's so gorgeous. I absolutely love Mediterranean by Elizabeth Arden. So for holidays, like I said, I always like to have a floral perfume. And, I don't want, I mean, I've got quite a few floral here's already, but if I was picking something specifically that I'm like, I want to have a light, joyful floral, I'm going to go for this guy. It's technically discontinued, but still really easy to get. This is Guerlain, and this is Bloom of Rose. Mon Guerlain Bloom of Rose. This is the EDT, not the EDP, which I do not like. So the EDT, it says rose and it has got rose, but there's also quite a lot of neroli and jasmine sambac in here. There's also a lot of citrus. So it's not a thick and creamy perfume like the other Mon Guerlains. It's fresh. It has a little bit of that bitterness, but there is enough vanilla in this to not smell like vanilla, but just to take that kind of sharpness off of the citrus. There's obviously still a bit of lavender, so it's a bit aromatic. It's a beautiful, perfect summer perfume. So yeah, that is Guerlain Bloom of Rose EDT. So we have to have something a bit juicy. And I thought we'd go for something that was a signature scent of mine for quite a few years, actually. And so it's always going to be a favourite of mine, and I do find this very juicy. This is In Love Again from Yves Saint Laurent, this fabulous bottle. As you can see here, it's, well, let's put it in a position where you can actually read it. Cassis, mandarin, raisin muscat, rose pavoine, and myrrh. So black currant, rose peony, I think that is. It's the grape note. I think this has a bit of a muscat wine smell about it. I really do think it has a kind of dessert wine scent. It's also a little bit citrusy, a little bit blackcurranty, and then you have that light rose and peony in here. It is extremely beautiful. You've definitely got some musk in here. There's some green notes. It's got a bit of a slight tomato leaf scent. It's just gorgeous. So this is In Love Again by Yves Saint Laurent. Not the longest lasting, but a perfect holiday scent. So let's talk about a beautiful, lovely evening perfume. This is a perfume that I think I always assumed would be best in cooler weather, but I find this performs and smells amazing in warm weather, even hot weather. This is L'Occitane Terre de Lumière, and this is the Eau de Parfum, not to be mixed up with the Eau de Toilette, which is a completely different perfume. This is a lavender and honey perfume. So, I mean, you might think that lavender, is turning up quite a lot here. I do love lavender, but this has just got some kind of magic going on. It's got musk mallow, so it's got that ambretti smell. Tonka, it's got a bitter almond, and then there's that lovely, beautiful honey. This is my favourite honey perfume by far. This is the new bottle of it. On Fragrantica, you'll probably see it has a round bottle. I have that one as well, but I also wanted to compare it to the new, and they smell almost exactly the same. If anything, I think this new version might be slightly stronger. But this is a sexy, musky, sweet, honeyed, interesting aromatic perfume. It kind of smells a bit more like Provence than Italy, but I do think it's beautiful. My husband really likes this one as well, so I highly recommend Terre de Lumière from L'Occitane. It is beautiful. And that's us done for our Sicilian White Lotus. So that's my Mediterranean Italian holiday. And next up, we're going to have a think about what I would take to Thailand. So season 3 of the White Lotus is set in Thailand, and I've never been to Thailand. I've actually never been to Southeast Asia, but I always get the impression that it's quite a humid heat. So I was thinking about it from that point of view. So here I've tried to go for things that are a little bit lighter than I would have taken to the other locations. Let's start again with the House of Toka. This is Toka Simone. Now, Toka Simone is a gorgeous, fruity floral. It's one that I really reached for quite a lot in the summer just gone, because it's such an easy wear. This is a watermelon and, well, it's kind of freesia. It's got ylang ylang, it's got frangipani, so it has a few more of the more tropical florals, but I almost get something a little bit like a watery strawberry from this, but it's also got this watermelon, it's got green apple, so it's got these juicy notes, and then it's got a kind of musky dry down. This, I think, smells... It smells like a very expensive shampoo. But the kind of shampoo that is very, very fancy, not screechy. So it's not got that kind of sharp detergenty scent, but it's soft, it's pretty, it's so easy to wear, and you just smell very feminine and gorgeous. And I just think it's lovely. So that's Toka Simone. So the last we have from Diptyque that, as I've said, I mean, honestly, for the last one, I could have had Velocicos, I could have had Eau d'Essence. There's so many good like vacation perfumes from Diptyque, but I do think if you're going somewhere very hot, then this has got to be the best. They only bring this out during the warmer months, so you can't get this in winter, but it's magical. So this is Ilio from Diptyque. A fantastic, beautiful summer perfume. It's light, it's fresh, it's watery, juicy. It's basically a prickly pear and iris perfume is the main thing that I get from this. So there's a slight powderiness, but it's also got a juicy, watery feel. You can see it's just such a beautiful bottle as well. They're so fabulous. You can also get hair mists of this. I've got one of those that smells amazing. It's just so fresh. It smells to me, absolutely smells like a holiday. This truly smells like sunny weather. It's refreshing, it's beautiful. It's so, so good for humid heat. I just think that Ilio is brilliant. So that is the Diptyque of choice. So I have to have something that actually just fully smells like I'm in a spa. This is some magic, genuinely. It's so wonderful. Like I just, this is so good. So this is a perfume from Lush. This is called Hungarian Fronds. Absolutely beautiful bottle. You can see it. Actually, it's very hard to see, but this is actually a kind of turquoise, deep turquoise liquid, or tealy color really. So this is, I mean, they're only really telling you chamomile, fennel and oregano. It's a lot of chamomile, so it's very soothing and beautiful, but there's definitely a citrus in here. I can smell it. It is so beautiful. It's a really impressive perfume. I find it soothing and calming, and it really does smell like you're inside a gentle, clean and really fancy spa. So yeah, Hungarian Fronds from Lush is just such a beautiful perfume. This came out quite recently, so yeah, I've barely made a dent in this one, but it's gorgeous. When it comes to wearing something floral in a humid environment, I still want it to be fresh and kind of juicy. And I feel like this lives in the same kind of realm as Ilio, not in terms of profile, but in terms of the way it feels to wear it. So this is Le Jardin de Monsieur Lee from Hermes, and this is predominantly a jasmine and kumquat perfume. It has a really watery, fresh texture to it. It's sheer, it's pretty, it's technically unisex, but I think there's something that I find ever so slightly feminine about the way this wears on me. And it has mint in it, and I like a green sap or something like that. It just really is fresh and juicy and floral. And it has a kind of, and I find this with all of my perfumes that have kumquat in, it has almost a slightly plasticky note in there, which I enjoy though. It's a really interesting scent, really, really interesting. But yeah, I think Le Jardin de Monsieur Lee from Hermes is such a perfect vacation perfume, absolutely perfect. So I have to take away something juicy on my holiday if I'm going to somewhere, well, anywhere. I always want to have something juicy and fruity. This is an unusual one though, and I wanted to point it out because I don't really see anyone talking about these perfumes, and I think this is a really interesting indie house. So this is a perfume called Frank, and this is from And Perfumery, and Fragrances actually, I think they're called. This is just a little 10ml spray bottle of the eau de parfum. You can get 50ml of this, and you can get 50ml of the eau de toilette version as well. Honestly, for holiday, I'd probably end up getting the eau de toilette because this is quite strong, but this is so juicy and it brings me so much joy. This is a perfume that has a lot of lime and a lot of mango. The floral here is ylang ylang, but it's got loads of olibanum and a little bit of myrrh. So it's got this interesting tone to it. It's not particularly smoky. It's just really kind of cozy and comforting while still being bright and not too thick. It's very citrusy. It's very juicy. The mango in this is beautiful. It's not too syrupy though. It doesn't smell like a cocktail. It's just fun and bright and fruity and pretty. So that is Frank from And Fragrances by Simon Constantine, who used to be a Lush perfumer, in case you don't know this brand. And then finally, I've got to have like an evening perfume, a date night perfume. Although to be honest, I could happily wear Frank. But if I wanted something maybe a little bit more seductive, a little bit more sexy, maybe a little sweeter. I mean, I can't think of anything better than this. It's so beautiful, and it has an interesting note in this one. So this is a Burberry Brit, but this is the Eau de Toilette, not the Eau de Parfum. I have both. I love them both. But this one, this is almond and vanilla, but it's got loads of lime, a lovely bit of pear, and then it has this really interesting aromatic, almost slightly medicinal lemongrass in here. It's also got mahogany wood, it's got sugar. I think it's peony in these perfumes, but I think here in the EDT version, the vanilla and the almond are a little bit lighter, but they still come through in the end, giving a sweet, creamy, delicious base. But this one, this has more lime, it's got a juicy pear still, but there is definitely a really recognisable lemongrass note here. And it's because it's lighter, it's a perfect summery hot weather version of what is quite a kind of thick perfume in Burberry Brit. I just think that this is so sexy. I love this perfume. I love this profile. So it's a perfect kind of evening date night alternative to, you know, the original Brit that's perfect for holidays. So that's Burberry Brit EDT, and that is the last perfume in my vacation, my Bougee Vacation White Lotus inspired video. So thank you very much, guys, for indulging me in my Bougee Vacation dreams, and I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you would take with you to one of the White Lotus hotels. Hopefully none of us would be murdered or nothing awful would happen to us. Hopefully it would just be a nice vacation, so not quite like the White Lotus. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I do normally talk about more affordable perfumes. I have, because this was a bougie one, there's a few more expensive ones here. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.